Honestly, this is the real key, how to unlock this female energy that most guys want so bad. All right. Now, it's conditional though. You got to accept that. I assume you saw my previous video about instead of obsessing with female energy, check yourself and see why you want it. And then I get into that and explain about how women and men are different. Men are drawn to women. We like the female energy. They don't have to, we don't care. Do they have money? Do they have, they have a good career? Like, we don't care. Or even if they want to have kids, like, we don't really care. We like the female energy, but we want them to give it to us. This is how they do emotional blackmail too. Yeah, how many times you experience that? You do something they don't like, they don't tell you about it. They're not like, oh, I didn't really like when you did that, and so I want to talk about that and resolve it. No, they'll start like, how you doing, sweetie? You'll say to her, she'll, yeah, I'm okay. See, she does that stuff. And because she turned off the female energy. You had a great last night before having sex, and she was totally, when a girl surrenders to you, man, strong energy, it's a drug. You get drugged. Then what do? It's like you go into the drug dealer's house, he keeps giving it to you, then you go back, he don't give it to you then. You're like, what's up? Just not gonna give it to you. See, they do that. This is how they manipulate guys. And most guys fall for it because you haven't realized your own inner power. Therefore, you have a false dependence on things outside of yourself to give you a hit. And the female energy drug is one of the biggest hits you can get, man. Yeah, it's one of the biggest hits you can get. Strong stuff. I know. It's how you get devastated when the relationship ends, or if you see her with another guy or whatever, all that. All right, so we're talking about unlocking the female energy, and we're saying, like I said in the previous video, you have to know how she's wired, how she's like built, how God built her, the software that's in her. Okay, she wants to be taken care of. She wants that. Wants compliments. Wants you to buy her stuff, protect her, give her security, have kids. 99% of the time. Then take care of the kids and her. Play with the kids. Play with her. All right. Have good sex when she wants it. Don't do it when she don't want it. I was always lucky. I never cared so much about sex. I wasn't overzealous about sex. Every girl I've been with, she wanted it more than me. I'm like, all right, we can do it. And then they would think, oh, well, maybe he doesn't really like me because he's not like trying to have sex with me. The mind's all just corrupted. A lot of girls think like all they have is their body. That's it. If you're not like, excited about that, then you must not like them. It's too bad. So anyway, if you take care of all these biological needs, all this their designer kit of projections, if you fulfill that, and I'm not being condescending, like I'm not like, oh, if you do that, man, you're a simp. Don't listen to the alpha male people, like they don't know what they're talking about. You ever see them with a good girl or a really happy relationship? No. It's not like they don't want it. They want it, but they can't get it. They're too much ego and arrogance. Anyway, you understand how the female functions. You don't take it personal. You don't take it personal. This is a big thing. Don't think, oh, she's purposely like using me just to get, yeah, there's some gold diggers like that, but you stay away from them. I'm not talking about them. You can sense if you're with a girl who's she's innocent, and for the most part, and it's just her software, it's playing out like that. What do you want her to do? You want to like delete all her software? She can't. She has to, some rare, they transcend that. We'll get into that in the end of the video. Yeah, how to get a girl that's transcended the software. Well, you have to transcend your software first, of being so needy and addicted to female energy and wanting sex. That's the only way you can attract a girl who's transcended her software. Most guys, they haven't, this is how the mind works. Guys want to keep their software of really needing the female energy and needing sex, but then they want a girl that doesn't have her software. See, it's not fair. You gotta catch these things out. A lot of these things, they're unhidden. We don't catch it out. You got to do introspection. and catch it out, or listen to somebody who you trust who's sharing about these things, and then meditate and contemplate on that and like, is this true or not? For those who have the capacity to do that. This channel's not for most. This is clear. I already know that. I'm surprised I get the amount of views that I get anyway. I wasn't expecting that when I started the channel. So all good here. We're talking about, yeah, if you want to do, if you understand her biology and her software, and then you feel it's your destiny to be in a relationship because God wants you to, like you can just feel, you know, it's not a choice. Some people ask me, why do you choose not to have a family or kid? It's not a choice, man. It's why do you choose to want it? It's also not a choice. I made a video on my spiritual channel, like there's no free will. We get into that. It trips people's mind up because the mind wants to believe it's making all these choices. No, it's your destiny's being revealed to you. You can try to fight it, but you can't, not ultimately. So if you're willing to play that role, and don't hear that wrong, everything's a role. I'm playing a role right now. I'm playing as the one that's sharing things with those, and you're playing the role of like listening. Some of you think I don't know what I'm talking about. That's cool. We need that. There's duality. Some people are gonna like you, some don't. Like, yeah, whatever. So everything's a role. If you understand this theater, the more you understand it, the better you can play your role, and you don't take it personal. The girl will truly, man, if you understand her on that level, biological level, and you're able to give her these things, the energy she gives you, you know, it's worth it. Those who have really had a girl who loved them know what that feels like, man. It feels super, like, you're like, damn, this is the best drug in the world. The only better drug than that is when you get this satiation, you can say, from your core, your spirit. But you need, you need a spiritual practice to do that, and that takes a while. It might take a lot of suffering and pain, but like whatever, you know. But aside from that, the female drug energy, man, that's strong. So if you're signed up for that, if you want to be in a relationship or you want to get married, understand this. Don't try to change her. You can't. You can't. When you buy her stuff and you compliment her and you know, you give this feeling of like taking care of her, then she's gonna like, that's the key that unlocks the female energy. She's gonna feel like she loves you. Now the alpha male says, oh, but that's conditional, and yeah, but okay, everything, look, everybody's using each other on some level all the time anyway. You're using me right now. You're listening to if I wasn't sharing this, you're not gonna pay attention to me, right? So you're using me for this. That's cool. Like, I want to be used. This is you can say a supreme being used. We're not using each other for like material stuff. So that's okay. So that's my point though. Everybody's using each other for something. But when it crosses the line, you see, you can cross the line. If the girls start it's obvious they're just working you. The female energy is like, it's an act. They know how to act it. You have to be sensitive enough and smart enough to catch that though. If they're doing that, get rid of them, man. But if it's a genuine, like you did something for her, or, you know, you're fulfilling these projections that the female software, you know, is, and then you see how it unlocks, that's authentic. She's doing, you can't be more authentic than that until you transcend the biology. And most women haven't done that, and most men haven't done that. So I'm gonna let the intruders pass, and then I'm gonna talk about I gotta mention one more thing though. It's not just that they use you for the security and taking care of them. There's another way they can use you. I've been used on both sides, or in both of these aspects, so I know about it. They can use you too for sex. Like they use you as like a masturbation instrument, basically. This is twofold, two aspected. This is the first thing. They're like, those are your sex addict girls. They just like to have sex all the time. And the guy's ego likes that. They're like, yeah, I'm packing my equipment, man. That's why they want to do it. And so then they feel, you get a high from that. But then later, you'll realize, I used to get in Thailand or in Bali, wherever, third world countries, I didn't want a girlfriend, but yet I had these urges to still have sex. So I'd go to the massage parlor. And I would try to find the ones that they were horny, they wanted to have sex, but they wouldn't charge me. I didn't want to pay. Somehow it felt, I don't want to, So then when they would do it voluntarily, I'd be like, it'd give me a hit of self-esteem. I'm like, oh yeah, they like this. But then I realized, no, wait, they're using me as like a dill rod. Huh, I'm done. So they can use you like that. And also, they can use you like this. This is deeper. They don't need you to take care of them. They already got a bunch of money. They don't want kids or can't have kids. They don't need you to take care of them on any level. You can say an alpha female, or they're independent. But as a woman, as a woman, you have this emotional nature, this something, you want this connection emotionally, if you're healthy. If you got a bunch of trauma and you're just, girl's weird, then she's not aware of that. But if you get a nice post-therapy girl, it means she doesn't have any trauma, she's got to work out, and there's no monsters are going to come out after you have sex with them. And they don't need any security, they're already cool on that level. They're not sex addicts, but they might want to be using, for some reason, your chemistry, it just works. They feel open with this, something opens up, they can't even help it. They're like, it's like the key goes into the lock. And they feel what they've been missing. They haven't had that in their life. So then they get that, and they're using you for that. But they don't want to get married, they don't want to have kids. Actually, they're using you for that. They're not interested so much in what you have to say. I mean, they play like they are to get, so then you have sex, and they're working you. But it's subconscious, they don't mean to. But their main interest in you is because when you have sex, you have that emotional connection, and it feeds them a little bit. They like that. But aside from that, they're not really interested in spiritual talk, or they're going to out somewhere, you go on a vacation or something. That might not be fun if you're not doing the sex that gives them that fulfillment inside. Okay, so that leads me to the final topic I want to touch on is, I'll say this first. You know how you find out if you're really bonded on the deepest level and you're not using each other? If you've transcended your biology and it's a very pure communion with one another. You know how you find out? If you're a guy, you take sex off the table. Forget about it. Just forget about it. And if it's a girl, she takes this whole need for security instinct off the table, or emotional, satisfaction, everything. Like all these things that belong to the human worldly level, you take off the table. And then what you're left with is just, you'll find out, is it a real spiritual connection? Because you removed everything else. So now if there's not a spiritual connection, you're going to get bored. That's how you find out if you're using each other for smaller things. I had a girlfriend, and I was talking to my friend outside. I don't know the context, how it happened, but I told him, I said, yeah, I don't really want to have sex with her. I don't want to sleep with her. I like to sleep in my own bed. And he's like, well, what the hell, what does she need you for? I'm like, yeah, that's what we're going to find out. So it just organically kind of unfolded like that. I was like, I didn't purposely do that to find out, but it was working like that. I was like, yeah, let's find out. Didn't last long after that. So that's how you find out. But you can't attract that level, that yogini level of a female being, unless you've transcended all these little needs inside your own self. You just can't. I've said, I think on the other video, the guys want to attract a high-level girl without being a high-level guy. High-level guy means that you're satisfied inside. You're not looking for somebody to complete you and using them to give you dopamine hits, or using them as a drug to make you feel better in your life because you feel down. No, you're already solid. It's like two strong pillars. And then if in that situation, yeah, you can once it's established and clear that you guys time will tell if it's a true pure relationship and you're not using each other, because you're not having sex and you're not always paying for her, and you took all that off. Then you'll find out in time, like, is this really this seems pretty good. Then you can have sex if you want, but you won't be doing it for any need. You can say the universe is just having sex with itself, something like that. All right. The universe is running the show. Always remember that. If you're destined, whatever your destiny is, it's already written. I'll leave it with this. There's a great sage, Ramana Maharshi. Some of you might have heard of him. And he said in one of his books, whatever's destined to happen, try as hard as you can to make it not happen. It's still going to happen. Also, whatever is not destined to happen, try as hard as you can to make that happen. It's not going to happen. See, we're getting into spiritual stuff now. You can see my other channel if you want, Spiritual Renaissance. I found, yeah, I'll keep making videos on this channel because I enjoy the topic, I enjoy the audience, but the spiritual channel is the one I'm really focused on, because that's what's going to give the real freedom. It's not just about semen retention. Semen retention is a tool to help you develop your spiritual nature. That's what it's for. It's not for, like, getting charisma, so then I can go get girls, and then I'm gonna be a victim to lust again, and then I'm gonna relapse, and that whole ridiculous circle that people get stuck in. But that has to happen that has to happen organically. It's an evolutionary thing where you come to realize these things for your own self. All right, have a good day.